Hello everyone, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and a great Halloween. We had fun yesterday. I'm shooting this on Monday morning. Went out trick-or-treating. We were all Disney villains, so I was the evil queen and I had a lot of fun doing that makeup. Bright purple eyeshadow, the red lip, not needing to do anything to my hair. It was a good costume. But for this video, I'm always kind of fascinated by what turns out to be a bestseller at different retailers, and I thought it would be interesting to look at Ulta and instead of just looking overall, actually filter the results down to between $0 and $10. So cap it off at 10 and see what are the best selling products in that price range. Some of them did not surprise me at all. Some of them did, but I just went through like for face, eyes, lips, I put it on that filter and then I just looked down and I was like, okay, what's the first concealer I'm gonna come to? What's the first primer, whatever. So everything I'm using was very high up on the list. I put it in my little makeup bag here and we'll see what kind of look it puts together. We'll see, you know, are there any complaints about some of this stuff? Are there any rediscovered gems that I'm going to run across here? But the top primer was the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, just the regular version. I haven't used mine in a little while, so hopefully it's still creamy enough. It feels pretty creamy. I'm trying to warm it up between the fingers a bit and then just spread it over the nose. While I think this one is good, I think that the one that Hard Candy makes is even more like the Tatcha one. It's just a little creamier. There's a little less pull across the skin with that one, but the e.l.f. is still fine, so getting that on all over. And so for the rest of our costumes, Bub was Gaston, Bubba was little LeFou, his sidekick, Belle was Queen of Hearts, and Biddy was Maleficent. And she wanted to be Maleficent the whole time, like, so that was the catalyst for the whole idea. She was like, I want to be Maleficent, and I'm thinking, okay, how many other things can we tie into this if we want to do it that way? And then it all just kind of fell into place. It was pretty easy. I was surprised to see that this was the #1 selling foundation under $10. I mean, I know people like it. I know it's one of the more popular ones, but Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, y'all, it is the top selling foundation that's under $10. And I really thought maybe it would be Wet n Wild. But anyway, I wear this in light beige. It is the matte and poreless version. They also have like a dewy version. I'm not sure if they sell that one at Ulta or if that's just something I run into at Walmart, but I'm gonna have this around all over. I mean, it could not be a more like just standard foundation in terms of the format. You're gonna shake it out, you're gonna dab it on with your finger. It's a nice medium coverage foundation. Here we go. We're just gonna put it on with our Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. Man, when Halloween falls on a Sunday, I'm tired. Like, I didn't feel like I got much of a weekend in there, you know? A lot of work getting all the kids ready. My lips are still like pretty rosy from the lip color I removed because I wore like a long wearing Maybelline Superstay type lip, and I'm even a little bit stained, I think, on the eyeshadow I used. I think it's called Fade Into Hue palette from ColourPop. It had some perfect purple shades. So here we are with the matte and poreless. I mean, it's fine. It's nothing earth-shattering. I don't like it as well as the Wet n Wild, and that one's definitely within this price range. I really like the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy or the regular. This is all right. Maybe it's gotten a little like resurgence because of TikTok, because I know I've seen people using this on TikTok with some regularity. But yeah, guys, that's your top foundation. Top concealer coming out even above the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, which surprised me a little bit, is another old school fave here, the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. I may or may not be able to get any out of my brightener shade here. It's down all the way to the bottom, but I'm gonna try for this video. So I like the brightener shade because it has kind of a pinky tone. It's a really good option for waking up the under eye, and then I will sometimes pair that with Fair, which is just like my skin tone and also very brightening. I'll maybe bop a little bit of that out here. My brightener is definitely an empty. I need to pull out my new fresh one, but I'm just gonna dab this in. Expert Face Brush is just such a nice little handy brush here because it really can fit most places. But this is a great concealer and it's thin. It would be thinner and lighter than e.l.f. Camo Concealer. Been around for a long time. Just covers with ease, beautifully, wears well. I really don't have any complaints about it. I'm just kind of still surprised to see it so high up. So then I'm just taking a smaller brush, as I've been doing in my videos, and making sure I get around my inner corner. Super easy. Great product that helped the coverage of the look so much, you know, and it immediately made me more satisfied with where things were going on the under eye and center of the face. Then the top selling loose powder, not a surprise at all, Maybelline Fit Me. Okay, so we got a lot of Maybelline here at the start of things. Fit Me loose powder, raved about by many, including me. And I use this fair shade and just set my under eye and T-zone with it. And then there's also a pressed powder that was right up there too that I didn't have much familiarity with, but I got it in PR somewhat recently. So I thought, hey, I'll pull that out for this video. So this, I'm hitting my T-zone. Look how nice and bright we are. It's a great powder, it really is, but it's not the only great option. The Wet n Wild loose powder is great. So is the Believe Beauty one. Those are maybe my top 3 from the drugstore. So then it's this pressed powder from NYX, this Can't Stop, Won't Stop mattifying powder that I have here in medium, and I just thought I'd put this all over the rest of the skin because this actually came in on the list before the Fit Me loose, but I thought they both give a different powder option. I could barely open that. The texture of this, it's pretty soft. It's lighter and less creamy feeling than the, does anybody remember Stay Matte But Not Flat? This feels a little bit more like a standard powder. As you can see, I'm kind of keeping it off of the areas where I did my T-zone and all. I'm just trying to keep that light and bright. But I think this is also adding some coverage. We are matte. Let me know any other retailers that you'd like to see a bestsellers full face from, or there's other ways I can look at it. I could look at it as through the ratings and stuff. Ratings are kind of hard. I actually did a video not that long ago where I used products that were top rated, but I looked for the most ratings, you know, because something could slip in and be top rated with like 1 5-star review. So I looked for things that had like thousands of top ratings, but anyways, there's that. Very matte. I've got pretty much all the coverage I would need at this point because it really built with the various steps we added. Very surprised by this one. The top selling bronzer is e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. Under $10, keep in mind. So, you know, maybe if we opened this up, if we widened out this range a bit to 15, maybe we'd see some Physicians Formula butter bronzer in there, but the Putty Bronzer for under 10, and I have 2 shades in this. I have the Honey Drip, and then I had purchased Sunkissed, and at some point in the summer I was thinking like, well, I think Sunkissed is capable of showing up better on me, but right now I'm wondering if maybe the Honey Drip would work. So I'm going to try my lighter of the 2 first. It is a nice texture. I mean, it's easy to work with. I swiped a little on. I'm also kind of going in with my brush. Yeah, Honey Drip is light, but it is showing. So to me, the products that they put out, like Putty Blush and Putty Bronzer, they are smoother and kind of more lightweight feeling than the Putty Primer. So as you can see, like they're blending real easily. I'm not applying a lot of pressure or anything. I'm just swirling it in there, getting it around the hairline a little bit. And it goes on with ease even over, you know, a fully powdered face. So that's kind of cool to see. I'm going to do a little bit of my darker shade, which again is called Sunkissed. And it does look real dark, but it's going to go on with more sheerness, you know. See that a little better? Biddy was Maleficent yesterday, so I was trying to contour her little face a little bit. It is hard to do makeup on kids. Like especially the eyes. I'm like, hold still. And then I finally got him to lay down over on my little bench over there. That finally seemed to help them stay still. Okay, so that's the addition of just a little bit of my deeper shade. Kind of goes on, shows up with a little more ease. But yeah, I think this is a solid product. I'm just a little surprised. We also have the Wet n Wild color icon, like Wet Shady Beaches. I would have been less surprised to see that one toward the top. Number 1 best-selling blush under $10 at Ulta, Milani Baked Blushes. And when I think about that, I know most people love Milani Luminoso. So that's what I pulled out of my stash to use. It's a glowy peachy shade. It does show up, you know, it does have some pigmentation, but it has a soft kind of sheen to it. And of course that baked domed formula. And this product has been around for a long time. I remember when the baked blushes first came out. I was most definitely in the other house. And this one didn't immediately grab me, you know, I was more into some of the deeper shades, I remember, but this one is still great and so many people go after it. But it does give you this fresh kind of baby cheek look. It's giving a little sheen to this matte face. Just a little. But I'm happy with that. I do think it's a solid product, and it's a product you'll have for a long time. It takes a while to use that baked stuff. Number one highlighter, my friends, under $10, the ColourPop Super Shock highlighters. And I have the shade Lunch Money here, and it is a really pretty highlighter. I've had it for a while, and I'm really pleased with how creamy it continues to be. So yeah, creamy texture. You can just swipe it on the skin like this. I'm applying very little pressure. And look at that glow. Like, I am having a major rediscovered moment with this one because that is gorgeous. And the ease of application, just coat your finger and then just kind of let it glide on top of the skin. Or you could put it on with a brush, I mean, whatever. But that is such a pretty sheen. If you've never tried a ColourPop Super Shock product, the texture is like, I don't know, it feels kind of velvety to me. It's creamy, but not in a sticky, goopy way. It really lends itself well to like a highlighter or something you're gonna put on over the top of multiple other steps of makeup, because it doesn't interfere. It doesn't create a problem with the rest of the look. It's a beautiful pearly color. There's no glitter in it. I mean, I don't know about every shade that they make, but I know this one called Lunch Money is absolutely gorgeous. And look how it took this matte face and just gave the most beautiful pearly glow on top. Now for setting sprays, the Mario Badescu ones come out right on top. The number one scent was the Rose Mist that they make, and it is really good and really authentic smelling, but I don't still have one of those. I believe I've used an entire one of those up. The Cucumber one is right up there. That's another great option. If you can get over the holidays like a variety pack of these, you'll be really thrilled with some of the different scents. One of my faves, and also one of the best sellers, is the mist with aloe, chamomile, and lavender. I think it is so soothing and calming. It's a nice sprayer on these. Even to get the size I'm holding now, which is 4 ounces, not expensive, and then you can get smaller sizes as well to try. But it's a nice, like, standard mist. I think you will come away looking a bit more dewy. Things will be looking a little more like one with the skin, but it's not over the top. It's not like there's any sparkle in this product or anything. I mean, I just think it gives the skin a little fresher look, and it's a nice all-purpose mist for any time. You know, keep one in your fridge, keep one downstairs as you're doing nighttime skincare. It's just a nice feeling. Okay, so for the face steps so far, I'm agreeing with a lot of it, even if some of the things surprise me, like the matte and poreless foundation surprised me a little bit, but those Maybelline concealers, I mean, you cannot miss with the Age Rewind concealers, so those are one of the best things I think I put on my face. The Fit Me loose powder is a great pairing with those. This NYX powder, I think I'm gonna have to use it a little bit more, but it's not like striking me as, whoa, off the charts amazing for a pressed powder. While Putty bronzer surprised me a little bit, like that it's really come onto the scene fairly quickly and is ranking that high, I still do like it. I think it did a good job for my look, as did the Luminoso blush, and I'm loving that Lunch Money highlight from ColourPop. It looks really good. Now the number one brow product under $10 is the NYX Micro Brow. This is just a skinny brow pencil. It is like a drugstore version of ABH Brow Wiz. It's got the spoolie on one end, the very fine tip on the other that's retractable, and I don't have that product on me anymore, but I have used it. I have approved of it. I think it's one of many good drugstore eyebrow options. But another one I saw on the list was from ColourPop. This is not one of my favorites because I feel like the pencil, while it's a nice skinny precise pencil, it's very, very soft. And I like how NYX Micro Brow, just like ABH Brow Wiz, is a little more firm. I mean, you don't struggle to see color, but it's like, here I have to watch my pressure that I apply a lot more. But anyway, this is in the shade Bangin' Brunette, and it's got the spoolie on the one end, so I'm just gonna throw this on. Sorry for not having NYX Micro Brow on hand, but it was not surprised to see it on bestsellers. It's a great product. L'Oreal also makes a really nice skinny pencil. I mean, pretty much every brand has brought one of those to the table, it seems like. And I think it's just a matter of, you know, what brand's gonna make a shade that works for you if you're a difficult to match, like, hair color. I know blondes can have it kind of hard sometimes. Mom's always talking to me about whether or not, you know, is what she put in too red? Is it cool enough? Sometimes the taupey shades aren't always cool enough, or the blonde shades aren't. You need to go for something that's maybe called a taupe if you've got really light blonde hair. Anyway, we're getting along fine with this. It's just not my favorite brow product ever. It's just like that one application. It's darn near everything I clicked up is completely worn down. So you go through this fast. I'm going to use a little spoolie to go through. And then, not a bestseller, but should be, Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt. I mean, come on, people. This is the best stuff. The little brush that has the long bristles on one side, the short bristles on the other, can work completely on its own to fill in your brows. Oh, another thing that was up there was e.l.f. Wow Brow, though, and that's a good product. That works very well. It adds like little fibers to the brow. It's got a tiny brush. It's kind of e.l.f.'s take on Glossier Boy Brow, and it does a tremendous job. e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil is another good option that has a slightly thicker tip than what we've been talking about with NYX Micro Brow or the ColourPop one that I used, and I've always enjoyed that one. I think it's a couple bucks and it works so nicely. So there's no shortage of low-cost brow things. I did not see an eyeshadow primer up there on this list among the eye products. I don't know why. Like, we could use 80 different eyeshadow products, but there needs to be an eye primer always. Milani eyeshadow primer. I don't know what they need to do. Maybe they need to make it flashier. Maybe they need to re-promote it. Maybe they need to, I don't know, put out a special jumbo size, find a celebrity spokesperson. I don't know, but this stuff is a bomb. And then on eyeshadow. So under $10, we're not going to run into a lot of different like palettes. I think I saw a couple of different like small palettes for Makeup Revolution, but I think they only may have qualified under that filter because the price had been knocked down. But the number one thing coming up under eyeshadow was the Ulta brand eyeshadows. And then also not far behind that was the ColourPop Super Shock shadows. So I don't have a vast array of these. I found one Ulta shadow and it's in the shade called Whatevs, and it's a beautiful pearly color here. So I can use that. And my Super Shock shadow, the one that I had that was no longer limited edition that I thought I could use, is the shade called... Oh, she lives. The adhesive's just not really there anymore. Okay, anyway. This shade is Kush, and it's described as like a silvery taupe, I think. And this has the same kind of texture as like the highlighter that we put on, except maybe not quite as soft, but still like super pigmented. And I'm just going to use this all over my lid today. And look, it's super bright, real shiny. Very, very pretty. I can't argue with it. At one point in time I had a lot more ColourPop Super Shock shadows, but I kind of narrowed down my selection to some of these like statement lid pop kind of colors, because that's kind of where I see these shining, is doing, literally, is doing a whole look and then kind of dabbing one of these like right on the lid for a little pop. But that's the shade called Kush all over. See, I don't even have a powder bronzer in this look to easily just throw into my crease. But I do have this Ulta eyeshadow in this light pearly shade that I can put up under the brow. Sorry if this is kind of a letdown on the eye look, but I do see requests for very simple eye looks too. Again, we are light, we are shimmery. For me, the ColourPop shadows don't necessarily lock in and last as well as some, let's say, super long wearing shadow sticks that I have. But again, I like them in more of a pinpointed, like statement way, like let's pop the center of the lid, let's pop the inner part of the lid, something like that. But I'm gonna stay with the program and I'm gonna keep it to things that are the best sellers, you know, and the best-selling eyeliner, NYX Epic Ink. I was also using this when I was talking about Allure Best Beauty type products. I mean, it really is good. We're talking a brush tip design here. Very, very black, very long wear. Other good ones include Wet n Wild Breakup Proof. This would have to be right up there with the Too Faced Better Than Sex liner pen. Probably as black as my One Size liner, although that's a felt tip, this is a brush tip, so you know, we all might have different preferences, but that One Size eyeliner seriously outlasts most anything. That formula really locks in. I'm just doing an easy eye there. Maybe I should wing it because the eye is so simple today. I did a huge wing for my look yesterday. Evil Queen. There we are with our light shadow look and a little bit of a wing. NYX Epic Ink, great option, great choice. Then for mascara, the #1 best-selling mascara under 10 at Ulta is the Essence Lash Princess, the False Lash Effect, which I think is good, but I tend to prefer the purple one. And that's somewhere down the list a little bit, but it's the one called the Sculpted Volume, just because it reminds me even more of Superhero. I think it builds up a little faster. I think it just gives me more of that vibe. Really thick, pronounced lashes. It's a good one, but yeah, just curling them up. I feel like people just kind of hang on one, you know, you get stuck on one. One makes a name for itself and it's like, but guys, try some of the other varieties. Not always the best about curl holding for me. That's just a personal problem that I have. My lashes like to be straight, but it's still a good mascara and I completely understand why it's a bestseller. It's a bestseller on Ulta. I know it's a best-selling product on Amazon. I mean, Essence is really taking the drugstore mascara game by storm. And the product has been out for a while. It's not brand spanking new. They've put out the pink version more recently, which I've been using that as well. They're all solid mascaras, I feel like, in this line, this Lash Princess line. Thing is, I wouldn't really trust these mascaras on my lower lashes because of smudging. And somebody might be saying, well, Em, is there any mascara that you would put on your top lashes and like on your top lashes, but also would trust on the bottom lashes? And I would say, like, from CoverGirl, the Supersizer mascara could always hang on the lower lashes as well and not cause me trouble. I'm thinking Lash Blast was the same. Of course, there was the Clump Crusher water resistant that I used for a long time on there, and then it kind of started to smudge. Come on, Em, keep it neat. The Super Shock Shadow does feel a bit more set now. It's not feeling sticky. It doesn't really have a dewy texture to it, in case anybody was wondering. Lip products. Top ones. NYX Butter Gloss, NYX Lip Liners, and Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink. The first thing coming up was the actual, like, I don't think I have one sitting up here, but the Matte Ink liquid lipstick version. Those are your top lip products. I would stand by any of those, really. I'm still fascinated that Butter Gloss is hanging up there, you know, at the top. Like, how? I got one in PR kind of recently called Sugar High that I'd never tried before, so I thought, let's try that out in this look. Typically, Creme Brulee is a very popular nude option from this line. I really liked when they came out with Butter Gloss Intense, which I'm not sure if they make those anymore, but those were really, like, colorful, a lot of bang for your buck on just the overall look. These lip liners, by the way, there's a great holiday set that I've reviewed in my holiday lip bonanza video. It's like a 5-pack of NYX lip liners, and it's a great wardrobe of like nude basics from light to dark. So this is my little combo that I'm gonna do today, and I also completely stand behind Superstay Matte Ink. If you want the liquid lipstick format, you know, they do it really well, but also the ink crayons are probably the most like low fuss, easy thing to throw on, and they've got some great shades there. So we're gonna do the lip liner, and I would really suggest having an Eos lip balm on hand because it really is the perfect like lip prep texture because it's not super shiny, goopy, greasy. You don't want to affect the staying power in a negative way with any kind of balmy prep that you do. But this just moistens up the lips enough to where you can glide on your lip liner and everything still has really good staying power. So I pulled out the shade called Nude Truffle. It's like the second dark to darkest shade in that multi-pack, but you can also get it on its own for sure. It's kind of brownish. I know some of y'all are probably saying, Eos lip balm, that stuff's been around forever. I didn't like that. I didn't think it was any good. There's something to be said for a lip balm that is not too overly like drenching your lips in moisture because it serves the function of priming very well. Because look, this liner is gliding on no problem. So look how pretty this Nude Truffle shade is. Again, if you're trying to build your lip liner wardrobe, get the little 5-pack. It's inexpensive and it gives you everything from like light pinky nude, very basic nude, deeper nude, brown, which you're gonna use that, I swear. Like adds just a little depth and richness to anything, any look you got. Did you see me trying to like blink down on my lashes earlier? As they're drying, if you will do this, like just slightly blink down on them. That's the way I curled the girls' lashes yesterday because I was too freaked out to put a lash curler on their eyes because they were all like squirmy, and I just didn't think that was going to work. So if you kind of blink down on drying mascara, it will give you that upturn. All right, now let's look at this Sugar High shade of the Butter Gloss. Let's swatch it on the hand so you can see what it truly is. That's pretty. Okay. I want to say a little deeper, perhaps a hair rosier than Creme Brulee. Definitely deeper. And these are smooth, non-sticky, nice glosses with some pigment. I mean, I got no complaints about Butter Gloss. I think it's just kind of funny that they're still really kicking, you know, even after all these years. Pretty. Love the shade. Great combo. Love, love, love that liner with this. Again, that was Nude Truffle. This is Sugar High. Now, wrapping up this look, I would add more blush. We got a light eye, so I'm kind of like just feeling that need. Milani Luminoso here. Need to create a line of t-shirts or coffee mugs, things like when in doubt, add more blush. So my hair, what's it doing today? It's clean. It just was so slicked back yesterday for my Evil Queen look. So what do we think of this full face of the best-selling products under 10 at Ulta? I am nuts about that lip. And my other high point from this look, I think, was really the way the blush, bronzer, and highlight all came together, like topping off that very matte face. I thought the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer actually did great. The Luminoso blush is gorgeous. And then the glow of that Lunch Money ColourPop highlight, absolutely fantastic. The Maybelline Age Rewind concealers saved the coverage. I think Maybelline Matte and Poreless Foundation is good, but again, if you're still wanting to stay in a very reasonable price range, go with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus line. Brows ended up fine, even though it wasn't my favorite stuff, but they're fine. My eyeshadow look, super minimal, but kind of nice actually, with a little wing and some mascara, not a problem at all. So yeah, hopefully this video gave you some ideas of some great affordable makeup, and in some areas, we talked alternatives to the things that maybe I didn't totally agree with on bestsellers. But yeah, I will enjoy this look today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your requests in the comments section, and I will see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.